Is Batman on the juice? Is Spider-Man's worst enemy on steroids? Watch this video to find out. Wagwan everyone, welcome back to another video. Have you ever looked at an actor who's gone from really skinny to really big and just wondered how they've done that in what feels like a week's time? Quite a few actors have undergone crazy transformations to play their roles perfectly in movies. However, they're only given about 4 to 5 months to completely change their lives. But how do they do this? Is it steroids or is it just plain hard work? Well, in today's video I'm going to be looking at several actors, including Christian Bale and Jake Gyllenhaal, who have underwent some crazy transformations, and I'm going to be saying whether I think they're natural or on some sort of juice. Psst, if you're not already, like and subscribe. To start off with, we're going to be looking at Christian Bale and his body transformation for his role as Batman. Who are you and what are you doing here?
Look, I'm obviously
Sorry,
Batman.
could you just... your mask.
Sorry, pandemic. I'm obviously
You're
Batman.
Batman. You look like a knockoff of the main guy from Kick-Ass.
Look, I've got my bat rings to prove it. I've got my logo. I'm obviously Batman.
Those are obviously just bits of paper stuck to a bit of toilet roll.
No.
And what's going on with the logo? Did your printer run out of
It's been
ink?
a tough couple of months. Everyone's locked down. No criminals are out on the streets. There's no crime to save, and my funding's going down.
I'm sorry to hear that. Is there anything I can do to help?
Tell your lovely viewers that I'm natural.
Look. It's my video. I'll tell him if you're natural or unnatural, okay? Because you might be.
Now listen here. These still work.
So we're going to be looking at Christian's transformation from his role in The Mechanist in 2004 to his role as Batman 5 months later. For his role in The Mechanist, he actually had to lose a third of his body weight, and he was weighing 55 kilograms when he played the weird, creepy psycho guy in it. And then 5 months later, he loaded up on anything he could find: pizza, ice cream. I wouldn't have been surprised if he was eating bucket loads of butter, and he managed to gain 30 kg. In fact, he was too heavy that the director actually asked him to lose 9 kg before he was perfect to play the role. A lot of this added mass was actually muscle, but was it steroids or was it just hard work and a good diet? Well, we can easily scrap the good diet as, like I said, a lot of pizza, a lot of ice cream. Looking at it for 5 months, that's an incredible amount of progress. But if you look at his movie before it, American Psycho, he had a really good physique. But there's actually a thing called muscle memory. So you build up the muscle, you stop training, you lose all your muscle. But when you keep training again, you're able to regain that muscle a lot quicker, and I believe this is what happened to Christian. He looks very similar to his role in American Psycho. Similar body fat, similar amount of muscle. In fact, they actually weighed the same. Well, similar, 85 kg and 86 kg respectively. And it wasn't all muscle. You can see he doesn't look the most shredded. He's put on a bit of body fat as well, so it's a bit of fat and muscle. So it actually looks like it's muscle memory and a bit of just eating a lot. And he's not showing any symptoms of using steroids. There's no balding of the hair, there's no rashes, which are common symptoms of people who use steroids. So to conclude, I'm certain he's natural. I think it was mainly muscle memory. He was building up the muscle he'd lost before. And let's be honest, if Batman was on steroids, he would have beaten Bane a lot quicker and there would have been no need for a 2-hour-long movie. Next up, we're going to be looking at transformation by Jake Gyllenhaal. And I guarantee you that you recognise this guy, but have no idea where from. He's actually been in a couple of movies. Most recently, he's been in Spider-Man, where he played Spider-Man's enemy, Mysterio. No, Batman was bad enough. Go!
Oh, fine. There's no one to bloody save anymore.
So we're actually going to be looking at Jake's transformation for the 2015 movie Southpaw, where he played a boxer called Billy Hope. That's just a typical box name. Why is every boxer called Billy? Before Southpaw, he was actually in a movie called Nightcrawler, where he actually lost 7 kg to play the weird, creepy photographer. And for Southpaw, he had to put on this 14 kg, and even put on 7 kg of muscle. This is probably the most impressive actor transformation I've seen, even more impressive than Christian Bale's for Batman. But how did he do it actually? The answer to that is he trained like a boxer for 6 months. He was training 6 hours a day, 3 hours of which was boxing practice, the other 3 hours was strength, conditioning, cardio, and he trained like this every day. He had a trainer, he had a very strict diet, he was eating like proper foods, no junk in there, and this training led him to put on loads of muscle. But was it natural or were there steroids involved? Well, if we look at his movie in 2010 called Prince of Persia, you can actually see that they had similar body compositions. But the only thing's different is that in Southpaw he's actually lost a lot of body fat due to all the cardio, which makes him look more shredded, which in turn makes him look bigger, gives him that beast factor as a boxer. So like Christian Bale's transformation, I do believe it's mainly muscle memory, and also try training 6 hours a day for 6 months. I guarantee you, if you do not look like that by the end of it, you've done it wrong, because after 6 hours a day training for 5 months, I mean, you're going to look like some sort of beast. I should also add that before the Prince of Persia transformation, he looked like the picture on the left, where you can see he actually had a decent amount of muscle anyway, so you can tell that transformation was natural. So next up we're going to be looking at Chris Hemsworth's transformation for the 2011 movie Thor. What? But there's no one there. Wait. Does that mean I am Thor? God, that thing weighs a ton. But does that mean I am God? But was Chris Hemsworth's transformation natural, or did he use some sort of substance? Well, his transformation actually took a year between the 2010 movie Cash and the 2011 movie Thor. In this year, he actually gained 9 kilograms of muscle. For any experienced gym goer, that's really hard to do naturally, basically even impossible. However, in an interview, Chris claimed that he'd never actually been to the gym before Thor, and it was the first time he touched weight, which suggests that he's a newbie. He was actually keeping fit before by doing boxing and stuff like that, which is what gave him a good physique in the movie Cash. So now we know he's a newbie, which leads to newbie gains, which means you actually make more progress when you just start off lifting. And in your first year of lifting, the average muscle per earn is between 7 and 8 kilograms if you go consistently. So 9 kilograms just means he has really bloody good superhuman genetics. So it's not really steroids. And if he was on steroids, he would have gained at least 6 kilograms in the first 10 weeks. So after a year, that's going to be at least 14 after he's plateaued. So to conclude, Chris Hemsworth's transformation for Thor was natural. But just imagine if he was on steroids. Imagine what Thor could have done with that hammer. He would have basically been hitting people to Asgard with that. Here, piggy, 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 piggy. Zach, for the last time, put a shirt on. Here, babe. I need to do a YouTube video. Zach, what do you want now? You meant to be doing my body transformation? No. I'm doing a YouTube video, Babe Watch. No. You know, Babe Pig Watch. 1995. Babe Watch. About me? Oh. Babe Watch, not Babe Watch. Yeah, that makes sense. I was wondering how a pig would have a body transformation. Oh, there! Babe Watch complete! Sorry, that was the world's worst joke. If you didn't get it, there's a 1995 movie called Babe, which is about a pig, and Babe Watch. So it was a long shot, but anyway. Is Zac Efron natural or not? The first thing we can establish is that Zac Efron is not a newbie, as he did bulk up a bit for his role in High School Musical. So he's not a newbie, he knows what he's doing, so it might just be muscle memory. However, if you look at this transformation in a tweet, he said a few months. He actually managed to get down to 5% body fat in a few months, which makes you start to think, that's quite suspicious, because if you look at him now, he's kind of like tripled in size without gaining any body fat. The second thing I noticed was in this interview he did about Baywatch afterwards, and he said, I never want to look like that again. It was very hard to look like that. Maybe that doesn't really ring any red flags. It might just be that it was a hard regime, he didn't like training that hard. Until you see this bit right at the end. Take care of your heart. Normally cardio is good for your heart, and if you're not gaining any body weight, you'll kind of think you're putting a bit of cardio in there. But we all know what else affects your heart. Steroids. So I think we might have a potential steroid user here. Looking at his pictures, he has very low body fat, a lot of muscle, but his muscles also look very dry, if that makes sense. It looks like there's no water in them. But I'm not an expert on steroids, so I did decide to search up the symptoms on the NHS website, and one of them was balding. And if you look at the pictures of Zac Efron in Baywatch, his hair does look like it's thinning. So at this point I was about 80% sure he was on some sort of anabolic steroid, but I needed to be sure. So I used this article by Muscle Plus Brawn by a guy called Ernst Pipes. I will link it in the description, it's a really interesting read. And he did mention the point about him starting to go bald, as shown in this picture. And he said that it was due to an increase in DHT. So DHT is actually 3.5 times stronger than testosterone, and one of the side effects is that it kills hair follicles, making your hair look thinner. A second point he brought up was that he actually looked older. He looked maybe about 40 in this picture of him doing pull-ups. And that's because steroids actually reduce the collagen production, which means it's less elastic and you're more prone to wrinkling, hence looking like you're older, speeding up the aging process. And also explains why he looks more vascular, as it produces more collagen, which means your veins are more coming up to the surface. And there was a few other points he brought up, one being he had more chest hair due to more testosterone being produced. And of course, in these two interviews, one of which Listen to this one of him before Baywatch.
Awesome. That's one of my favorite things about playing Teddy is that he's really raw and emotional.
And then listen to this one of him in Baywatch.
Cross-dressing.
Yeah.
That's what I learned. the
Right,
most.
how to walk
How
in
to
heels.
be really undercover.
You can hear that his voice sounds deeper, again due to an increased testosterone. And then Ernst predicted that he actually used Winstrol, which is a DHT-derived steroid, which of course increases DHT, makes you look bolder. So Winstrol increases your muscle mass, decreases body fat, which is why he still looks very shredded while putting on a lot of muscle in those few months. And it sheds water, which is why he looked dry. Sorry Zac Efron fans, I don't like accusing anyone of steroids, but the evidence is there, so I'm sorry, I'm going to have to say he used steroids. That doesn't mean it's really easy to put on muscle. He still trained really hard every day, so I can see why he didn't want to go back to that lifestyle. It could not have been healthy or sustainable for him. He does look incredible, and you can see why loads of people did swoon over him in the movie Baywatch. Me included. Thank you guys for watching. I really hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please let me know in the comments down below. Leave a like and subscribe if you're not already. And guys, don't forget, I am 4, so if you don't subscribe, I will come to your house and force you to. 4 out. Where's my ukulele? Where the hell? I found my ukulele.